Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon from whichever part of the world you are. I am so honored to be host of this 506th session of this prestigious sharEvery Global Foundation. I myself, Bulirana Zahi, Clarity, Women Independence Coach. So now I just welcome time mover, a lady, Coach Rashmi Rathi, with a beautiful smile. Over to you, ma'am.
Greeting to you all. Today I have the honor to introduce a very kind and inspiring person who lived himself by lifting others. Venkat Balantrapu. He is currently the Chief of Operations Officers of Indian Ocean General Assurance Limited, Mauritius. He is the founder and CEO of Quality Service Awareness Institute, India, and he is a leadership and career mastery coach and speaker. He is an author, a customer retention strategist, an insurance professional, consultant, and trainer, an NLP practitioner and master practitioner, and a columnist. He is also a singer and golfer. He has been in the insurance industry for the last 38 years and has held senior position in the industry in India as well as Kenya, Mauritius, Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, and Uganda in Africa for over 20 years. He is also an ex-banker and has worked in the private sector too. He writes on international cricket and is a guest writer at Thrive Global India. He has authored many books: Winshow Your Dream Life, Prompt Responses, Stop Leading, Start Leading, and Direct Hit. He is a channel partner with Service Quality International USA, and he is a mentor at Mentor Card India. He has conducted programs for Kenya Institute of Bankers and the Madras Management Associations, India. He is also a trainer certified by Impellent under NSDC, Government of India. Over to you, Venkat sir.
Thank sharEvery Global Foundation for giving me this opportunity. I am an insurance professional and I am on a mission to transform 1 million lives. So this is one more step for me in that direction. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as informed earlier, I'm going to speak on how somebody can master their career. So the title is Gateway to Career Mastery. You know, if you take any career in the world today, there are millions of people. How can you be or become that one person whom the rest in that profession would like to look upon, for whom you have to be somebody who is sharing a lot of value? Somebody is like a role model. So in other words, I would like to compare a career to a very, very huge multi-storied building. So what begins first when we construct a building? We have Empire State Building, Burj Khalifa, Qutub Minar, so many giant structures in this world. A strong foundation. Normally what happens, at least during my job seeking days, when we are looking for a job or a career, we succumb to 4 things very easily. They are peer pressure. or your parental pressure, or the general surroundings. People brainwash you. This neighbor has got a job, that neighbor has got a job. You are just roaming around to do something. And we also conclude on whatever choices are available on hand. That is how I grew up, and I'm sure many of us would have grown up like that. But today the world has evolved going forward. There is ample choice between the sky and the earth. Like if we take about career clusters, there are 16 career clusters. I'll just give a few examples later. What is a career cluster? Then there are career paths which are around 100 today. And overall in the world, if somebody wants to choose a career, he has around 5,000 designations to choose from. So this is the ample choice we have today. To choose a career, there is a system, there is a process. There are some tests we do, like a medical test, we get some testing done on ourselves, and we can today arrive at what is the most compatible career for one, or the careers where you can keep away your hands, which are called like danger zones. So when I talk of a career mastery, it will always begin with the foundation, which is most important. So normally what comprises of a career foundation is, first and foremost, is self-awareness. When we are looking to start a career, we need to see where we stand, how we are placed, and to find out these things, we can first and foremost find out what is our personality type. That is number one. Second is, what is our career interest? Third is, what are our career values? And what are our skills and abilities? We call skill sets and abilities. There are 8 skill sets which are common for any career in this world today. I'll come to that later again. And most important of all, which is slightly outside the circle of this, which I have mentioned earlier, which is most important, is you should have a drive and the passion for a career. So somebody who wants to master the career should make sure he or she begins with a foolproof exercise, with a foolproof process. So let me come to personality type. There are different types of people in this world. Two people are never the same. But when you know your personality type, that means, for example, you can be one of the 4 pairs of combinations. You can be an extrovert or an introvert. You can be somebody who is sensing or intuitive. You can be somebody who is thinking or feeling, or you can be somebody who is judging or perceiving. So if you find out this, you will know which career clusters you are very, very compatible with, where you can definitely stand chances of making a mark. Once this is done, you will get a combination of any 4 of these 8. So you will know your personality type. For example, my personality type is extrovert, sensing, feeling, and judging. So I'm called ESFJ. So this can be very, very easily done just to ensure you are on the right path. Next comes our career values. When I talk of career values, what it means is, when we look for a career or a job, we always look at what is the satisfaction, what is the motivational factor we are looking at. Without satisfaction and the spark of motivation, we are as good as in a dark spot. Nothing is going to happen. So if we can identify what are our career values in our career or job, which is very, very helpful in being sure before you embark on your career. Some of the values I give you examples are regarding your creativity. You are looking at management style. What is it you want to achieve? What is the environment or surroundings? What is the security of that job? What is your status or prestige in that society? How independent you can be? What is the economic return? And what is the intellectual stimulation you can get? So if you want to find out these things, there is a very, very simple exercise for this called John Holland's theory of career interests, which is nothing but it will tell you whether you are a realistic person. That means somebody who is going to be good in building activities, repairing or working outdoors, or you are an investigative oriented person, that means you will be fit for a research wing or investigation department or something like police, raw, all these things. Third is artistic. It is self-explanatory, whether you like arts, drama, painting, music, etc. Next comes enterprising. When I talk of enterprise, it is nothing but entrepreneurship, and where you are going to sell, manage business, or persuade people to listen to you and convince them. And next is conventional. Conventional is nothing but accounting, organizing, data processing, etc. And very, very important is social. If you are into a social line, say somebody you want to be a social activist, for example, you will find out you like or love to be helping, caring, or instructing environment. Earlier I told you about 16 career clusters. I'll just list a few, like law, agriculture, food, architecture, construction, manufacturing, marketing, science, technology. These are things. And now coming to the 8 skill sets I have said, which are very, very common across any career we settle down in. If you are keen to stand out in your career, you have to score 100% in each of these. Now, what are these? These are basically your numerical skills, your logical skills, your verbal ability, clerical and organizing skills, spatial and visualization ability, leadership and decision making skills, cognitive skill, that means memorizing skills, social and cooperation skills. Now what happens is, each of us have some degree of these skills within us. It's not that somebody who does not have any of this ability at all, but like on a scale of 100, I may be say 75 in the leadership, I may be 65 in verbal ability, I may be 58 in logical skills. So this gives you an opportunity that wherever you are not 100, how to transform yourself, what all you need to do, what stones you should not leave unturned to make all 8 of these, each of them, bring them as close as 100. That means if you are able to do this, you are going to make your career or your profession mastery a notch up and comparatively very, very easy. And when we are doing these things, we also have to embark on a lot of learning, which is very, very critical. Because I believe learning, how many of you love to learn? Please, can any one of you reply? What is the benefit from learning according to you? I will appreciate somebody to contribute.
Have a constant growth in your life in any sphere. Learning is very important. It may be professional or personal, whatever it is, but learning should not be stopped.
Absolutely brilliant, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Gautam. I always believed learning is the only thing we can do 1 second before we are going to die. Your money, your wealth, your friends, your relatives, your job, at some stage in your life journey, they will say goodbye to you. Even if you are on your deathbed, doctor has given you 10 seconds. You can try to sing and learn a line. You can try to write a line of poetry. That is what is the beauty of learning. When I know my learning style is visual, I should depend on those learning opportunities. Second is oral. Oral means nothing but audio. When somebody likes to listen to podcast, somebody likes to listen to radio, somebody likes to listen to speeches, those people, you cannot ask them to read email or watch a movie and learn things. It will not work. Third is read or write. So if Rashmi ji likes to read and write when she wants to learn something, better leave it and give her those opportunities. If you know you are good and learn well, only if you read something, get as many books as possible, join libraries, borrow books, do whatever you can, but don't compromise on your learning style. And the last is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic means nothing but use of hands. Things like painting, carpentry, manufacturing, working with machines. People like to learn. If I want to become a carpenter, I want to learn by joining a senior carpenter. something like a lab. You start making things, you start learning things slowly, slowly. So this is called work model. If you can recognize your visual, oral, read and write, or kinesthetic, there is nothing like that. And most important is your core strengths. Please remember, we all have different core strengths. Identify your core strengths. For somebody, it can be communication. For somebody, it can be hard work. For somebody, it can be interpersonal skills. So, if you are able to recognize that, there is no stopping. Now, having said this, my talk today is like a movie. We have reached the interval. So, now I am going to shift to a very, very interesting scenario. Presuming you do all this, and before I shift, I would like to add one more thing. If you are able to identify all these I have mentioned, still you want to adapt a different career because you are passionate about it. Nothing is impossible for humankind, for mankind. And not only that, today I am back in my insurance. What has been my breadwinner, which saw my family comfortable, my children, I have two daughters settled and working in Canada. Everything I have to thank to insurance. But when insurance and Mauritius came together, I could not say no because of the place, because of my golfing, because of my singing. And today I am able to do parallelly both of these. So that is what is living your dream career, living your dream life. Having said this, if you are equipped with all I had said earlier, there are things which are beyond our control. The only best example I can give is COVID. How many of you anticipated something like COVID? Please tell me.
I think in the early days or during my college, I did read about Nostradamus predicting that this is a year that is a twin, that world could face disaster. So I was only theoretically aware of it, but practically until experienced it.
Yes, very nice. Thank you so much. And did we expect it practically? And did we anticipate the magnitude of it? The impact it will have on the whole globe? Because the whole world was turned upside down. Things were topsy-turvy. For 2 years, it became impossible to fly also. I promised my daughters I'll visit them in 2020. I last met them in 2017. But in 2022, they came to India. I could not fly to Canada. So this was one of the impacts. Businesses were shut down. Careers were destroyed. This is just one example. What I am trying to tell you is, when everything you master, when everything you upskill, when everything you learn, there can be things which are beyond your control, which are outside your purview. How do you handle that? Can anybody make any guess, please? How can you handle? Is it possible to handle it when things are not in your control at all?
We could. It is like that when you are facing like a problem like this, we have to calm down and we could just take control of the things that are in our hand. And I have lived a practical example of that I could give, that I have lost my brother in COVID. And before that, for 21 years, I have been a homemaker. No career, nothing. But at that time, I was in a deep depression. And to get out of that, I tried to become a public speaking educator. That I was before marriage. I used to love that. And slowly, and that there I recognized my passion, and now I am before you. So it is not like that the tragedies, there are some lessons. That is the thing. We have to let go of the other things.
Yeah, thank you so much for your very, very valuable input. When I talk of inner transformation, it is very, 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 very critical. What it means is you are accepting to do whatever it takes to not allow or not compromise on your journey towards mastering your career. That is period. Nothing else. You cannot, after making this commitment yourself, you cannot say, I would have been like that, I would have been this, but this happened, that happened. No. To be very, very honest, There is no room for that. If there is a room for that from your mind or your heart, you are not serious about mastering your career. It is very, very clear before I begin that. Again, when you have to start controlling things from within, there are certain things you have to again put a foundation for a annex building. Earlier I told you about the main building. Now this is first and foremost, you have to get ready to get introduced or meet the most beautiful or the best human being you have ever met in your life. Who can it be? There are 9 types of personalities in this world. When it comes to Enneagram, earlier I said 16 types. Now for Enneagram, you have somebody who is a perfectionist, somebody who is a giver, somebody who is a performer, somebody who is a romantic, somebody who is an observer, somebody who is a loyal skeptic, somebody who is a epicure, somebody who is a protector, and somebody who is a mediator. There is no extra marks or right or wrong. You may belong to any of these 9 categories. It is called our DNA, our foundation. If you know that, the reason is this impacts how you receive extremely good news, extremely bitter and sad news in life, how you react. According to each of all of us react, right? Suddenly somebody calls and tells me you have got 1 million jackpot dollars. I'll be very happy. I may even faint. Similarly, if somebody tells me your close relative is no more, it impacts my productivity. It has a very, very negative impact on my performance, on my happiness. So we all, this is the main cause. People get, I was upset, I was angry, I was disappointed. We allow it to happen to ourselves. And when I say we allow it to happen to ourselves, the root cause is our personality type. There is nothing wrong to get emotional, angry, dejected, frustrated in life. It is very, very human. But what is the end result? Your journey is impacted. You are no longer focusing. Suppose you have a university exam at 2 o'clock. At 1:45, you hear a very bad news. Or you have to deliver a talk at 7 o'clock. 2 minutes before that, or you have to deliver a music performance in Music Academy in Chennai, or a global performance. Something happens which can put you off. You are not even in a position to speak. Do we want these things to encroach us, take over us? No. It is very, very easy to handle. Basically, what happens is when these things happen to us, human beings experience 5 different states of mind. The best is called best state of mind or elated state of mind. Next is above average state of mind. Third is average. Fourth is below average. Fifth is victim state of mind. I am not going to elaborate on all the 5. When I talk of the best or elated state, what happens is this state is when you are at your best, highest productivity, happiest in your life, most jubilant. Similarly, if something happens to you, from the elated state of mind, you come down, you slide down to average, below average or something, then you affect your performance. You are able to no longer focus on what is your objective, what you want to achieve in your life, how it can impact your success. And now coming to the last one, it is called victim state of mind. Victim state of mind is sometimes we allow ourselves to get into a room where we start talking, nobody likes me, people ill-treat me, I am not good in anything, I cannot achieve anything in life. And if we allow this to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, we can go into depression, take to drinks, and ultimate, I don't want to tell, we can even commit suicide. Normally, you have seen in high profile lives, lot of suicide cases you can see. Because they have lived in the best state of mind, they are not able to handle when they, for example, actors, when they stop getting opportunities, when they become old, when they are no longer getting movies, they go into depression. In 1 second, you know how to get back to best state of mind without allowing you to slide down. And how we do that? Do something you love more. Singing, you start singing. You like to cook something for your family, cook that. You like to do stitching, painting. Get into those activities which uplift you, right? Having done this, the next one is, many a time in our life, we have been successful one day and very disastrous with the same things the next day. Take cooking, for example. Take a musician's performance, for example. They are master. We have seen greatest musicians. Sometimes people talk, today he didn't sing well, right? What can be the reason? The reason is something called, we all are born and brought up, not born, we are brought up with some values in our lives. What are these values? These values you embed and observe by watching your immediate family, parents, grandparents. Your father was a humorous character. Your mother was helpful. Your grandfather always was successful. Your sister was very intelligent. So when you grow up with this environment, your favorite dish you make, your husband will just push it aside. Whereas previous day you would have loved to eat it. And he himself would have told you, make kheer tomorrow also. But the kheer today is not like yesterday, because you were not cheerful when you were cooking. I'm just giving one example. Because you were not cheerful, naturally that cheerfulness in the taste is absent. So if you want to be consistently successful, list down your 24 values, shorten it to your best 6 core values. This is what builds people's careers, builds people's reputation, is the foundation for people's success. If I am punctual, if I am honest, if I am of high integrity, these are my core values. My 6 core values are trust, integrity, commitment, love, family, and success. I am known for this. If the moment I don't follow this, I will not be the same Venkat. When I am following this, when people see me with these things, they will say, oh, Mr. Venkat, we can trust him. He is very committed. That is how people recognize you. And if you make sure you don't let these things vanish even for a second in your life, you are always successful. Then the next is, how many of us have become what we had wanted in our life? Has anybody foregone anything in our life? Please tell. Like when I was young, I wanted to become a singer. I was not allowed because of external comments. For 40 years, I never sang in my life. But last 25 years, I am giving professional performance. And I have not learned music. Have anybody compromised on your dream career anytime in your life? She is a world champion in 2019. But from 2014, she has been losing every year in world championship. First 2 years, she lost in the initial round. Third year, she won bronze. Fourth year, she won silver. Fifth year, she lifted the world championship. When she was asked, how come you fought for 5 years and how did you win the cup? She said, in the first year before I lost, I knew I will have my hands on this cup one day. That is why I never give up. So because of her coding, she continued to play for 5 years till she became the world champion in badminton. That is coding. Today, if we have a prime minister in India who was very, very sure 20 years ago, one day he will become prime minister, that is coding. There are batsmen I know in India who play better than Kohli, but they have never become Virat Kohli because their coding is different. So it is very, very important to stop thinking about your limitations or what you cannot do in life. Start believing what you can do in your life. That is changing your coding. The next part is, in your career, you have to set your outcomes. When I say outcome, it is nothing but your objectives, what you want to achieve. And outcomes should always be split into short term, that is 1 to 2 years, medium term, 3 to 5 years, and long term, 5 years and above. And normally, when businesses and individuals set targets, they succeed or fail. But when we transform from within, there is a tool where you can scientifically set your objectives. which are called in this context at outcomes. When I say scientifically set, it means 100% you will succeed. Like a company's target, there is no if and but. What we achieve the target, what we don't achieve. When I say you set them scientifically, you will 100% achieve, because you are going to set your outcomes based on your core values, your coding, your personality type, and your state of mind. Please remember that there is a scientific attachment. Then you also have to follow a scientific process called incred process. It means you do things which somebody has already done, you take up things which are challenging, you just decide, you do it. That is your positive belief. You do things which you don't give a room for negativity, and all these things you put them in your core values and coding and see if they are compatible. If you find they will not work, you change your outcome, you change your objective, so that at the time of setting itself, you will know if you want to become a doctor in 2 years or a PhD in coaching, you will become a PhD in coaching in 2 years. This is what is called setting your outcome. Then the most important thing is refine and sharpen your decision making skills. When I say decision making skills, many a time we don't make decisions, or out of 10 decisions, 8 times we fail, 2 times we succeeded. But when you follow a scientific process here again, instead of 2 and 8, you can change it to 8 and 2. You will succeed 8 times, you will fail only 2 times. What are they? Consider all the choices. Always ask questions. Put them again with your core values and coding and your personality type. Then also justify why what you have chosen is the best decision, and stick to it with your positive belief. Never change it midway. I am saying opportunities come, but they don't come back in life. So seize every opportunity. Never have a negative attitude. Look forward only. Just keep moving. Like earlier also I heard in one of sharEvery's meetings. Keep running, keep walking, keep crawling, or just keep moving. That is what we have to do in life, because I'm sure most of us, we are on a mission to transform each one of us. And for me personally, today has been a very, very lovely learning experience. Thank you for each one of you. And before I leave, I again want to thank the panelists, sharEvery Global Foundation, and each of the participants who are here today. Thank you so much.
Coach Gautam Pal for reviewing the thing. So our coach Gautam Pal, reviewer, the positive personality.
I must be thankful to sharEvery for giving me the opportunity. And after listening this particular session or discourse, have come to this conclusion that I'm not that person. It was like a constant bullet, throwing constant bullet of the conducive bullet or bullet of education. And how much I catch it, it's a matter of question. But I will try. So all of the things is start with the self-awareness. Do you know yourself? First question I would like to ask from today. Do I know myself? What is my unique trait? What is my state of mind? I came to know today that there is a 16 career clusters is not there. I didn't have any identification idea. Thank you very much, sir. And the 5,000 job designations today we can choose from. Then comes to there is several foundation part, right? That self-awareness, career interest, values, skills and abilities, and drive of passions. Really, if you want to do something in your life, first assess yourself that how you can do this, what is your unique trait, and go by that. And whatever the decisions or whatever the unknown stone is coming to you, how you are going to react, you can make it otherwise, right, in yourself. Because If you know yourself, then how you can react this. And if you are reacting badly, you can change yourself with the changing a state of mind, as said. First, provided that you know your state of mind. There is a special test I came to know, that is Enneagram test. I came to know that this is very important. If I get this test and get the perfect result, then I can assess myself very good and I can implement into my personal career, in my professional and my personally also. So it's very important. And one thing, that constant learning is a thing that you have to add on in your life, because sir said that one thing you can do in your deathbed also, that is learning. Learning means constant upgradation of yourself. And then this is about your career, but what about the unforeseen things, what you don't know? That is transformation. It is also very important. Now and then we tend to say about very old experiences of life, right? But now they are the cutting edge examples in front of us, Virat Kohli and PV Sindhu, that we can adapt their skills, because the objective, as you told, one should have the perfect objective, right? Object should be short term, medium, and long term. So you have to be very objectiveful. The most important part is decision making skill. We have to take decisions every now and then, and with that decision we can create a foundation for coming days or coming time. So it is very important how we are taking decisions through. If you know ourselves, definitely decision would be the better for conducive way. Last but not the least, keep yourself busy with the things you love to do, because that can make you alive always. And never told that it's too late. You might have a professional career, yes, it's okay, but keep intact the passion within you and work upon it, and one day it can shine, as per our guest. And I'm going to do this. Thank you very much for such a wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Coach Gautam Pal.